go to law school and try to provide those answers for us. So here we are. Farm Commons does outreach and education on legal issues. We also work with farmer clients on transactional matters, which are things like what we're discussing here. I am licensed in the Midwest and hope to help attorneys around the country be able to provide these services too. Now, there is a disclaimer, of course, because this is about legal issues. I have to alert you that the presentation today is not meant as instruction specific to your situation. I'm going to be discussing generalities and giving you the overview, and of course, your situation may be different. I really welcome your questions. On the right side of the left side of the screen, you'll see a chat box. Feel free to enter in questions as we go along there. Craig is going to try to pick those up and let me know that there's a question there. If he misses it, don't be hard on him. We'll try to get it at the end of the presentation. And of course, you're very welcome to call me, email me, and I'll try to follow up with you there too. Of course, this is a webinar, and this forum isn't right for all types of questions. Some things might be too complex, or I may not know the law, or they might just be too political to really get into in this forum. So I apologize in advance if your question isn't one that I can really answer. We also have a couple of polls. Those will pop up in front of you, and you can feel free to participate if you like, just to make the presentation a little bit more engaging. Now, the slides, copies of the slides, and the recording will be available. So if you have to duck out early or you want to listen to something again, you'll get a link right in your email. Okay. So the bummer part about the webinar is that you can't really look around and see who else is in the webinar. So I was going to tell you a little bit about who's here. And of course, this is all from the pre-webinar survey and your registration information. We had a lot of folks register, about 270. Now, a lot of those people don't actually make it on, but they do watch the recording. Of those, 77% are farmers. And then the remainder are educators, there's some lawyers, there's some nonprofit professionals. And of the farmers, I think this is really interesting, but 75% of you have less than 5 years of experience farming. So we're definitely attracting the more beginner crowd. The top state sending farmers to this webinar is Wisconsin, which is, of course, my home, so that's no surprise. After Wisconsin, we have folks in attendance from Illinois, Washington, Michigan, Minnesota, and oddly enough, Virginia also has a really strong showing, which is odd only because I don't really know anyone in Virginia. So, but somebody out there is getting the word out about what I do. So what are we talking about today? We're going to go through, obviously, legal issues with CSA, but specifically the sale itself, that transaction, the delivery or drop sites that you may be using. Many farms supplement with other farms' products. We're going to talk about some concerns there. Then multi-farm CSAs, which are more of an emerging concept, but they have a lot of potential. We're going to touch on worker shares and alternative work arrangements. There were many pre-webinar questions about this topic, and I have to tell you right away, I can't get into detail on this issue specifically in this webinar. I will be at the end of January. I have a worker and employee webinar, and we will go into much more depth at that one, but I'm going to touch on it a bit. And then